What the heck is going on here, Brandy? I cannot believe that I've just found out that you're the one that's been going out with my husband behind my back. You really did a great job hiding that important bit of information from me. Why are you talking about me like that out of nowhere? Do you really think that one of your good old friends would be stupid enough to go out with your husband? Especially when I've been a great friend to you, actually. So could you please stop acting like I'd ever do something as ridiculous as that? Could you stop trying to hide what you've been doing from me? I finally had enough of my husband always dodging me and asked for someone to follow him and find out more from me about what he's been up to. And guess what? That guy I asked to follow him around noticed that you've been the one that Frank's been cheating on me with. Huh? You asked someone to stalk him? You actually went ahead and did something crazy like that? Well, you were the one that suggested I do something like that, right? You said to my face that if I really wanted to learn about what my husband's been up to have some pro follow him around and find out for me. And that's why I paid $500 to have a guy go out and get me the information I needed. Man, I can't believe that. I thought because of how much of a pussy you are, you'd never have the nerve to do that to him. Well, I've been proven wrong today. If that pro you got to stalk him found that much evidence, then there really is no use in playing dumb anymore, is there? Well, you're right. I've been the one going out with your husband behind your back. You are the worst, Brandy. How could you do this to me after all those times I came to you about how I thought he was cheating on me? You even told me to find a pro to go out and follow him. Tell me, Brandy, what were you feeling when I came to get advice from you on what I should do about Frank? I bet while you put on a face to show how much you were worried about me, you were laughing your butt off inside. That's right. I had to hold back so much laughter to make sure I didn't spill the truth. And man, did I do a great job. I was able to fool you long enough to get you to actually go out and hire someone to get evidence for you. And now, because of that, you've finally come to realize it's been me all along and you've wasted so much time and money. Remember how much I had tried to get evidence of Frank cheating on me? But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get anywhere. But you were there telling me to not give up. Why did you have to be the one going out with my husband this whole dang time? Because you're a disgusting piece of crap, Miriam. And that's why I went ahead and stole your husband from you. Wait, I'm the piece of crap? You and I are like two peas in a pod, yet you thought it was okay to get married before me? I was not going to just sit around letting you get away with that. Ever since you got married, my parents have been on me saying that I need to get married soon as well, and it's been so annoying. And then, right before they end their little pep talks with me, they tell me to take some inspiration from you in finding a husband. And to be honest, I have been wanting to get married for a long time now, but I haven't been able to find the right man. And I don't want some loser to become my husband. I have to have the perfect man, and I've been waiting forever for him to come. What? What the heck, Brandy? That makes no sense to me. Why would that be your reason for taking my husband from me? Shut up, Miriam. It's your fault for thinking that you could live a happy life being married to Frank before me. Frank is such a great employee and makes enough to allow you to be happy every single day. Huh? Well, I've been wanting a man with decent money myself. Yet while I've been waiting to come across that man, you brought your money-making man around showing him off to me. Why did you get to end up marrying the perfect man for me? You really think I'd allow you to do that to me? That's why you're a disgusting piece of crap and why I stole him from you. So that's your reason for stealing your longtime good friend's husband? Are you actually this happy to watch me suffer like this? I'm sorry, but that happiness won't last long for you if that's what you sought by doing this. Huh? I'm sorry, but I'm going to be happy with what I've done to you for a very long time. But to be honest with you, now that you know I've been the one going out with him behind your back, the thrill of it has ended. However, now he and I are going to get married soon, so you hurry up and divorce him for me. Excuse me? So you really are just going to straight up steal him from me? Did you really think I'd go through all the work of getting him to fall for me just to let you have him back after finding out about what he was doing? I really do want to steal him from you, and there's nothing you can do to stop me now. Maybe if you'd been a bit closer with your husband, he would have never fallen for me. But you chose to never hang out with him enough and show him the love he deserves, and that's why he's mine now. You have proof, after all, that he and I are deeply in love, so you shouldn't even have to question anything anymore. I'm going to marry Frank, so step aside. I guess you're right. I do have a boatload of photos now showing you going out with my husband and the two of you being so close. And he's smiling with you way more than anything I've ever seen from him. Frank is actually a really loving man. When he first started to fall for me, he immediately told me that he wanted to get married. And to get me to agree with him, he's bought me all sorts of gifts. And he's even told me that the moment we get married, we're moving into a penthouse downtown. Huh? He has promised me all of that and so much more. He's even told me that he wants to make sure that I live a totally free life. And that's why he's going to let me be his housewife in that new penthouse. Also, he's promised that by the time we've moved into that place, he'll be a CEO and we'll have all kinds of money at our disposal. Is that so? Well, good for you. Why are you acting all okay about this now? You shouldn't be telling me that this will be good for me. You should be crying and begging me to give Frank back to you. You just lost the love of your life to your best friend, and you're going to try and hide behind a strong mask. Give me a break, Miriam. You just lost a wealthy man to your longtime friend. I'm not trying to fake being strong about this right now. I'm just telling you how I feel about the situation. After all, you have always been the one with a better sense of style than me. So I feel that you'll be a much better wife to him when he becomes a CEO than I will. Oh, stop that. I can't believe you understand this so well. Of course, I will look a lot better in the arms of a wealthy man like Frank. That's right. You'll look perfect next to him. And that's why I've already come to terms with you stealing him from me and kind of think of it as a great thing for everyone involved. And to be frank, me being with him is way too abnormal and shouldn't have even happened in the first place. Right? Compared to a level-headed woman like you being with him, a sexy-looking young gal like me is a much better match. Now I'm looking forward to hearing about your guys' divorce. You really helped me out a lot by bringing a good-looking and wealthy man like Frank to me. Just a second ago, I got the divorce papers for us. And I've already filled it out and signed my name on it. So please make sure to sign it when you get home. Then I'll be able to hand it in right away, and you and Brandy can continue your guys' dream of getting married.
What? Why do you know about how I've been hanging around Brandy this whole time?
For a long time now, I've been aware of you going out with another woman and never telling me anything about it. So I got some advice from a friend and went and hired a pro to follow you around and gather some evidence. And the evidence I got from that pro was shocking, to say the least. But that's why I'm willing to divorce you now, Frank.
You hired a pro?
This should all be amazing news for you, right? From what she was telling me, she made it look as though you wanted to get married to her as soon as possible. So having the only thing stopping you from that say she's going to disappear should make you happy, right?
Well, you have a good point. I am a bit surprised, though, that you figured all of that out so quickly. But the fact that you're even willing to leave me now without fighting back is perfect.
I will ask you this one thing, though. Why did you end up cheating on me? And furthermore, why did you cheat on me with one of my best friends?
You already know the answer to all of that. It's because her and I were meant to be together, and there's nothing that can get in the way of our happiness together.
Huh? Can you say that to me one more time?
The person that I should be married to isn't you. The person that's fated to be my wife is Brandy. So you can't really call what's been going on between the two of us cheating. I've just been going out with my destined wife, and that's totally okay.
So that's how much you're in love with that girl. Have you told her yet that the company you're slated to run is starting to collapse? Well, I guess it all makes sense now that you have all that time on your hands to be going out with another woman. You haven't even been bothering to save the company, instead thinking that it'll just save itself while you go out with your destined lover.
Well, I'll have you know that ever since I started going out with Brandy, my company has gotten back up.
What?
This year, there have been a lot of rival companies doing a lot better than this one, and it was expected that this company would fall. However, we began to sell a lot of assets to make up for whatever losses there have been. But as we were thinking that selling assets wouldn't even bring in enough money to make up for the losses, I ran into Brandy. We both decided to go out to dinner together, even though I was exhausted. And what do you know? The day after that first date, my company received a new contract.
Really? You think that it's because of her your company's on the way back to the top after being in such a terribly low position?
This isn't just some coincidence, you know. Every time since then that we've gone on dates with one another, my company's image has gone up and there have been more profits. There is still a little ways to go before the company really begins to rake in the money, but I know for a fact that we've avoided going bankrupt. To me, Brandy is no different than a miracle to me, and I will not let go of her.
So this is your reason for throwing me away and going after her? Even though this whole time I've been the one standing by your side supporting you? Even when I've been with you while the company has been going under, cheering you on?
I don't need you around anymore. It's as simple as that. The only woman I need now is Brandy, and no one else. I'm still shocked myself that she's given me so much more than you, and we're not even married yet. That's the power of being with the woman you're destined to be with. I can tell right now that the moment we marry, things will only become even better for me, and I'll be the happiest man in the world.
You may be right about that. After all, you both look as though you'd go perfectly together after getting married. All I am now to the both of you is a wall in the way of your bright future together.
Oh? What's happened to you all of a sudden? You're acting like you're totally fine with the fact that I'm leaving you now.
Well, you said it yourself, right? The moment you and her started going out with one another, your company was able to make an amazing comeback, right? And since that's been able to go on for a bit now, there's no way it's just a coincidence. Also, you are so invested in marrying her that there's nothing left for me to do to change your mind. Really, I'm starting to think that she really is meant for you too. So I have nothing left to do now besides letting her have you.
Well, it's really helping me out a lot that you've already come to understand this. To tell you the truth, she isn't even the first woman that I've messed around with while being married to you. So, just to be a kind man, I'll pay you whatever you ask for me to make up for the pain I've caused.
Thank you, Frank. That money will really help me out a lot. Now, I'd really like to get that divorce paperwork handed in, so get to it and sign what needs to be signed. I'll be wishing for the both of you to have a happy and healthy marriage to one another after this. I just happened to get married to Frank yesterday. We both went to the city office yesterday and filed our marriage papers. Congratulations, Brandy. You are finally with the man you were destined for. So, can we finally agree that I've come out on top of everyone? The next thing I get to look forward to is moving into that penthouse with Frank soon. To tell you the truth, right after we handed in our papers yesterday and became married, we went right to the penthouse and walked through it. And we decided that the place was perfect for us and immediately agreed that we'd like to rent it. What? You've already found yourselves a penthouse you plan to move into? It's around $10,000 a month to rent the place and was just remodeled with all the newest appliances. But because of that high price, it'll take a few days for the realtor to check over Frank's income to make sure he can afford the place. But he is Frank, after all, so there's no doubt we're getting that penthouse. So today we're going to head to some of the finest furniture stores in the state to start buying only the best luxury furniture and electronics. And Frank's even told me that I can pick anything I want, no questions asked. It must be so exciting to be you right now. I think right now you're the most excited woman on this planet. Of course I am. I was able to find myself the perfect man to make my husband, and we just got married. He is such a gentleman, and he's the new CEO of that company, so there was no hesitation. Being able to marry the perfect man has made me really think that I can get away with pretty much anything now. I'm so happy that I'll buy literally everything in those furniture stores today. Thank you so much, Miriam. You were very kind in allowing me to have your husband without there being any kind of retaliation. No, thank you, Brandy. You were able to get that CEO of a collapsing company out of my sight. Huh? I didn't even think that it'd be possible for you two to get married to one another this quickly. I am bursting with joy now. And to see you so happy with such a useless man warms my heart right up. Wait a second. Stop calling Frank a useless man. And what are you talking about? His company is not close to collapsing, right? He told me that his company is doing amazing right now and is expected to bring in loads this year. Well, that's what was expected before. But today, that contract that he was expecting to renew has been ended. And since he now has no customers willing to work with his company this quarter, he'll be right back on the path to bankruptcy. And unlike all the other times, I won't be there to help him and his company out of it. I don't see him having any other way of getting that company back on its feet now, so he's on a one-way trip to losing everything. Huh? And because of all that, don't expect to be able to afford that penthouse. After all, those landlords and realtors are very, very strict about who is allowed to rent them or not. And I think them seeing that Frank is on the road to losing his company and his money, they won't allow you guys to live there. What the hell are you going on about? Why the hell would Frank's company be on the brink of going bankrupt now? There's no way. What contract is he going to lose, and why would that make him lose his chance at renting the penthouse for us? I bet you're just upset with me now because I'm way more happy than you are and are trying to sabotage my emotions. Well then, why not give Frank a text or call about it? But I'm sure he's running around right now like a chicken with his head cut off, so you might be better off just texting him. Heck, I'd say your best chance now is to just head over to his company and see the condition it's in yourself.
What the hell is going on here, Miriam? Recently, that contract I've been planning on renewing has fallen out, and the customer is planning on looking to other companies now. If I'm not able to find anyone else to start working with me, I really will be on a one-way trip to going bankrupt. If you have any idea as to why this could be happening to me, please tell me.
What? Why are you contacting me about all of that? All I am to you now is your ex-wife, right?
I've already heard about everything from Brandy. She told me that you happen to know about that contract being ended and seems to think you know the reason why. Why would my ex-wife know anything about my company and its contracts? Wait, could this mean that after the divorce, you've been holding something against me? And this is all you're doing?
I haven't done anything, Frank. All I ended up doing was telling my parents and family about how you left me for my friend. But funny enough, that company that you had the contract with was actually run by my family.
What?
And let me just say that I never asked any of my family to end that contract with your company. But when telling them all about how we got a divorce and the reason behind it, they all seemed to become pretty upset. And that might be why they chose to stop working with you and your company.
I don't think any of that is a maybe anymore. I'm 100% sure that that's what's happening here. There's no other reason for this to be happening now. This is all unbelievable, though. How could the company that I've been working with for a little while now be run by your family? I've never heard anything about that from you or anyone.
You have a great point. But the reason you never heard anything about that is because you were too busy cheating on me with Brandy at the time the contract was made.
What?
You don't even want to know the amount of times I went to my parents asking them to please make a contract with your company. But I really wanted to help my then husband get the company back on its feet before taking on the role as CEO. And that's why I went through all that hard work. But you never noticed me putting in all that work because you were too busy going out with a good friend of mine.
Huh? You went and did all that for me?
I thought it'd be right as your wife to try and help you with your job. But at the time, I had no idea about all of that business-related stuff. So that's why I did what I could with what I had to make sure that your company could make a comeback. Going to my own family begging for them to make a contract with your company. And after so much work, they finally decided to give your company a really decent contract. But that whole time, you had no idea of it and thought it all had to do with Brandy. Well, it must hurt your pride now knowing that your company having a chance to get back on its feet was all due to my family and I.
So you're saying that the really generous contract the company had gotten was all due to you? This had nothing to do with Brandy?
That's absolutely right. It was all just a coincidence. While you were out being unfaithful, I was working my butt off to save your skin. And when my work was all said and done, you were given that contract and thanked Brandy for it, saying that she was like some kind of miracle for you. Even saying to me that she was your destined wife and would help you both make bank.
But that's...
When I had to listen to you go on and on about all of that, it really gave me a frickin' headache. You didn't care for any of the work I put in and continued on about how she was your good luck charm. After all that, the love that I'd worked so hard to make with you fell apart and withered away.
You're lying, right? How could this all have happened due to you, and not due to the fact that I'm finally with my destined wife? So, what am I going to do now knowing that Brandy isn't really what's been giving me so much good luck? I finally thought that the company was golden, and now it's going right back down the drain. And now, I'm not even going to have the help of your family with me.
How about you go ask your good luck charm of a wife for help? If she really is the woman you're destined to be with, then you'll make it out of all this just fine. You really have everything, so there will be some way your company makes it out of all this.
But what if this time a miracle doesn't happen?
Well, then that just means your wife isn't all you thought she was. Now, your ex-wife has to get going. You're supposed to be having the best time of your life right now, so please go back to being happy for everyone. What am I going to do, Miriam? Frank's company really is coming to an end like you said. He told me that now the company faces bankruptcy. He's not going to have any more money. Oh my. It's only been 1 week and things aren't going as the two of you had planned? What happened to him being the perfect man for you and having all that money? Right now, there's nothing about him that's perfect. He's not even going to be able to get that penthouse for us now. And as for all that luxury furniture and electronics that I bought, we have to go and return it all. All because he couldn't take care of his company. Why, when I was just about to become the happiest woman in the world, did this have to happen to me? Sucks to suck, Brandy. You actually thought that stealing one of your best friend's husbands would end up going well for you? Stop trying to talk to me like that right now. What I want to know is why you never told your best friend about how her man's company was on the brink of going bankrupt. If only I'd known that his company was in bad condition before marrying him, then I could have had the chance to leave him before we tied the knot. You are a freaking jerk for hiding a truth like that from your friend. Why would you do something so hurtful to me of all people? You know the reason for that, right? You were the one that started all of this by stealing Frank from me. Huh? If I had told you about all of this, you would have never fallen for the trap of marrying him, right? But I didn't want to ruin your guys' love that quickly. I wanted you both to really get inches away from your happiness before I told you all the truth. And would you look at that? I timed it all out perfectly, and now both the crappy friend of mine and my useless ex can suffer for what they've done. So there you go. My reason for hiding the truth from you. So that's why you were totally fine with the two of us getting married and even encouraged it. I should have known something was up by how fast you recovered from that blow. I was being honest, though, about you both getting married. You really are meant for each other based off how horrible of people you are. A brainless husband and his brainless wife makes for a perfect match. This is so messed up. Wanting both your ex and best friend to end up in shambles? And now you're calling us both stupid? I bet that you've been laughing about all of this behind our backs. You apologize to me right now for doing something like this to me. Wait, why should I do that? Weren't you the one that started all of this by going out with my husband behind my back? And you told me that you put on a face when talking to me because you were really laughing about how sad I was, right? Well, that was... So what you should be saying is that we both got to get in a good laugh from all this. And none of this is okay, though. Especially since you ended up getting a ton of money from Frank in the divorce while I'm going to end up with nothing. And I have to thank you for being there to save his company when you did. Because of that, he was able to make just enough money to pay me the amount I asked for before I left. Well, I want to divorce him and get his money as well now. Yet right now he has no money to his name. It's not fair that you're the only one making out of this with money. Stop being so selfish, Brandy. You at least got to marry the perfect man that you'd been searching so long for, right? If you're really wanting money as well now, go ahead and help him save his company then. Go around and find a company that you'll be willing to get on your hands and knees for to beg for them to make a contract with him. You wanted to become the wife of a CEO, so you have to start putting in the work to help keep him there. After that, Brandy tried to get Frank to divorce her, but he turned around and told her that she could not run away and that she needed to help him save his company. And so she ended up having to stick by his side, helping him find ways to get his company from going bankrupt and help themselves from losing everything. But of course, they weren't going to be able to do much about how bad of a situation the company was already in. And as I'd mentioned before, it was on a one-way trip out of here. As of right now, those two had to move into a really cheap apartment together and are living every day of their lives using large amounts of borrowed money. As for me, due to the money I received from Frank in the divorce and the settlement thereafter, I've been doing pretty well on my own. For the time being, I think I'm going to take things slow and work towards making myself an even better person, before going back out into the romance world looking for a new partner. Hey, Mom, listen, I'm finally going to be able to go to that college, and I was able to pass all my exams and interviews for the college of my dreams. So starting this fall, I'll be able to finally step into that college as a student. That's fantastic to hear. Did you really end up passing all your exams and interviews? I'm so happy to hear all of this from you finally, June. Congratulations. Not only are you going to be able to attend that school now, but you'll even have the chance to become a Harvard alumni. That's so amazing. You really did give it your all there, and this is the reward you're getting for it. Well, I did end up taking after Dad and became a really intelligent woman. I could really say that passing those exams to get into Harvard was a piece of cake for someone with my genes. You have that right. Ever since you began to speak, you've been just like your dad, and you were so smart. Well, now that I've heard the good news from you, we're going to have to prepare a celebration. What do you want to eat for dinner tonight? I'll give it my all to make you whatever kind of dinner you ask for. You don't have to worry about tonight. As a celebration for my passing my final year, Dad is taking me out to eat. Just the two of you? Am I not allowed to come and celebrate with the two of you? You know that you're not allowed to. I mean, all you are is a high school graduate. What? Dad ended up continuing his education doing postgraduate work and even now is working in the labs at the school. And I turned out just like him, having passed the entrance exams into Harvard. Do you really think there's room for a high school graduate between he and I? I'm sorry, but I won't be happy having someone who's never been to college celebrating my graduation. June, what are you talking about right now? I get that you feel on top of the world right now after having passed all your interviews at Harvard, but You still haven't become a student there, right? I understand that you've passed the exams and all that, but you still have to wait until you've graduated high school yourself. So at the moment, you're not even considered a high school graduate, right? Talking like you know anything is really getting on my nerves, especially since you've never gone through any sort of education after high school. You are the #1 idiot in this family, so you have no right to be talking to me like you're a distinguished person. Did you just call me an idiot? Hold your horses there, June. Did you really just say that to your own mother? Who do you think it was that allowed you to take those exams for Harvard, as well as allowed you to go study after school in those cram classes? And who has it been that's been here supporting you this whole time through all of it? We all know it's been Dad who's been there supporting me and helping me get through all my classes and exams. He's the one that works in the research department within that university, so it has to be him. He's from a very amazing college himself, as well as has the brains of a scientist, so I know he's been the one. You don't feel that I could have been the one that helped you through all of that? I'm the one that's been working a lot through my career to support both you and your father, June. And I've been the one paying for all the groceries in this house, along with all the bills, totaling around $2,000 a month. Haven't you realized that it's been me paying for all of that? Oh, what are you trying to say then? I'm surprised Dad ever married you when all you are is a high school graduate with little to show for it. I think he was very generous for allowing you to become a part of his family, and maybe that's why you're paying $2,000 a month. What? In other words, you working your butt off to pay the bills does not matter to me because you're just paying Dad back for what he's had to sacrifice by marrying you. And you are a high school graduate, so whatever work you do is probably way too simple and requires no thinking. So compared to what you do for this family, Dad's job is way more difficult and amazing. He's a researcher for a university, so the money he makes must be at least 10 times what you bring in. Excuse me? Listen, June. Have you really thought of me, your mother, like that this whole time? It's not that I've always been thinking that. Rather, it's all just facts. You are the #1 idiot in the house and have little to show for after you got out of high school. So I have something to say to a mother like you. And what is it that you'd like to say? I would like for you to get the hell out of this house. I'm about to become a Harvard student in the next few months, and having a high school graduate like you in this house is just embarrassing. So while Dad and I are out celebrating me graduating high school and getting into Harvard, you can stay home packing your things and getting out of here. Huh? So I'm the embarrassing one. And what do you mean, get out of the house? What are you talking about, June? I spoke with Dad about this already, but he says when I start to go to Harvard, things are going to get a bit tougher for me. I'm going to have to start learning a lot of new things, and I'll need the right environment to study in full time. But if there's a huge idiot in the house with me, that environment, which I'm supposed to study in, is going to fall apart. So that's why I'd like for you to get out of this house. This is not the kind of thing I'd like to be hearing from you right now, June. What kind of reasoning is that for you wanting your mother to leave her house? I'm sorry, Mom, but Dad agrees with me 100%. He said in order to help me graduate from Harvard, he's willing to divorce you. What did you just say? Us intelligent folk only do our best when surrounded by others that are just as intelligent as us. But if there's someone of mass stupidity amongst us, then the intelligence in the whole family begins to break down. And Dad does not want me turning into an idiot like you. What? Has your father really said things like that about me? Has he really gone and called me an idiot like that? He has. That's why you need to hurry up and get out of this house. There's no need for a mother in this house that is less intelligent than her own daughter. Having a parent that's ever only graduated from high school is super embarrassing. Are you really okay with that? I have Dad here to support me, so I'm totally okay with you going. Even without my stupid mother here in this house, I still have an admirable father that'll make sure to meet all my needs. We won't even ask you to pay for my college or for me to be fed or dressed in this house, so get lost already. Well then, I'll take you up on that wish of yours and leave this house. I'll fill out the divorce papers before I leave, so all Dad has to do is sign them.
Thank you so much for filling out and leaving the divorce paperwork here for me yesterday. Just a second ago, I handed them all into the city office.
Well, that's a wrap then. From now on, you and I are divorced.
That's right. And we have no more use for you. I'll make sure to raise June properly from now on, so you won't have to worry about what's happening with her.
But will you be able to manage that? Up until now, you forced me to do everything around that house, as well as raise her while you've stayed out. And without me, there would be nobody there to pay for the house and your guys' food, so how do you plan to carry on now?
Huh?
Well, I'm telling the truth, right? I do think it's pretty great that you're working in that lab at the university in town doing research. But even if you're working there with a master's degree in your field, you aren't making nearly that much. And when it comes to what you are making, you're putting most of that back into your research, right? That's the whole reason why you've had me be the one to use my earnings up to support the household. If it wasn't for all the extra work I've put in, I'd never have any savings to work with right now.
Well, don't worry about that because there's been a major change for me as well. I have just been contacted by a company overseas that is willing to hire me to go work for them.
What? You got an offer from an overseas company to go out and work for them? That right there is an absolutely amazing thing for you, right?
With where I'll be going, it's expected that I'll be making around $500,000 a year doing my research for them. And depending on the outcome of my research, I can expect to be getting close to $1 million in bonuses.
You'll be able to make that kind of money?
That's what you can expect from an overseas company willing to hire an American to go work for them. Unlike the universities and companies here, they are willing to pay a pretty penny for an American researcher with my background. I'll be able to continue the work I love while making massive amounts of money per year.
I see. You asked for a divorce because you've been offered such a great job promising lots of money. I was only ever useful to you because I was able to pay for whatever you couldn't afford, which was mostly everything.
Right now, I'm considered a top researcher in my field who is about to go global. And I should not have to continue to be married to a high school graduate like you any longer. You would only bring shame to my image. When I'm overseas, I'm going to be invited to all sorts of dinners with other elite people. And I can't be bringing a woman like you along with me.
So even you like to call me an embarrassment, huh? Not even a single thanks has come out of your mouth after all I've given for you and June. Instead, constantly looking down on me for never graduating from any higher level of education.
Man, I cannot believe I came out on top being offered to work for such an elite company. And not just by any elite company, but a company called Greenberg that specializes in all kinds of technology.
Greenberg?
Oh, even a high school graduate like you knows the name of this company. Thanks to the research I'll be able to do for their company, the stock prices are bound to go up for the company. I'd recommend buying all you can of this company's stock so that you will also have some money in the future.
Hold on a second. Isn't this all a bit strange to you? I've read about how that company is no longer planning to work with researchers from your department anymore.
Huh? They don't?
As your wife, I've always kept up on the news regarding your job and companies relating to it. And I think I read about this on one of the foreign news web pages. From what I read regarding Greenberg, they're starting to slow down any research that has to do with what you specialize in.
No way a high school graduate that's ever been to college could actually understand foreign news well enough to get that from it. I think you have a big misunderstanding is all. Why would a company like Greenberg be asking me to work for them if they don't plan to do any research in my field of expertise?
I wouldn't be so sure about that, Jeremy. These days, you can use translating apps to translate all sorts of web pages so that you can fully understand them. I think before you take their offer, you should look into their company a bit more. And maybe take one more look at the offer they sent you as well.
Shut up already. I'm not going to listen to the woman I just divorced talk about my work like she knows a dang thing about it. I'm sure you're just trying to get me to reject the offer now because I'll be making a whole lot of money with it. Well, no matter how hard you try, I'm not going to turn that company down.
Really? I'm not saying all of this because you have a chance to make a lot of money.
Well, you can stop with all this mundane crap that you keep spewing at me now, right? I'm going to accept this generous offer and then go work for a company that's willing to pay me properly for my work. I would no longer need your help anymore either, Sally.
I even tried to warn you about all of this, but I don't know how else to help you now. You run along and don't worry about your ex-wife anymore and go do whatever pleases you. But if you come to regret your decision later on, don't come crawling back to me crying.
You think I'll come crawling back to you? You are nothing more than a brainless woman who offers no further use to my family. You're the one that better stay away from us when you come to regret never, ever getting a proper education.
Now that I think about it, I'd like you to start sending me money again and paying for me to go to Harvard. By the end of this week, I'd like you to put around $10,000 into Dad's bank account for me. Shouldn't that dad of yours that you brag about so much be able to pay for you to stay in school? He should be able to, but so far he's still not been paid by the company he's working for at the moment. Seems he accidentally signed that contract, not realizing that he'd only get paid at the end of each year working in that company. He'll be making $500,000 by the end of the year, but for right now he doesn't have the money to pay for me. What? He only gets paid once a year? Apparently the company he works for now doesn't pay the same way companies in the US do. But unfortunately, that's not a good enough reason for Harvard, and they want me to pay for schooling by the end of this month. So for the time being, I'll have you pay for me to go to school. We'll make sure to pay you back later on after Dad gets his money. I can't believe this. I thought even Jeremy would have been able to see past that offer he was given. I suppose that he hasn't told you the truth yet about his work then? Huh? The truth? Well, it's not just him though, but you as well, June. You and your dad both fell for that crap even though you both claimed to be so intelligent. When really the two of you are straight up clowns. Huh? Who the hell are you calling a clown? And what are you talking about with Dad not seeing past that offer? I'm talking about how your dad, that you brag so much about, is a massive idiot. Right now, he's not working for a company overseas. And that's why he'll not be getting an income of $500,000. Which means you both can expect nothing by the end of the year. Huh? Really, he's been played as a fool with that offer. And this whole thing about him getting any sort of money at the end of the year is a lie he's made up to fool you too. And another thing, no matter what kind of situation you end up in down the road, I'm not planning on paying for you to go to school. Now go off and talk with your dad about his current situation and make sure to pay your school by whatever deadline they've given you. Wait a moment. What do you mean Dad isn't working for a company overseas right now? There's no way he'd turn down an offer like that promising huge amounts of money. To tell you the truth, there never was an offer like that, June. Just as I had thought, your dad has been played a fool by some kind of random email. Huh? What do you mean random email? I'm sure that your dad did happen to get an email from an overseas company with some kind of offer in it. But I think the company that sent him that offer made a mistake and sent it to the wrong person who ended up being your dad. They had another researcher in mind, but ended up sending the offer to your dad by mistake. What? I know about all of this because I'd been the wife of your dad for so many years. I kept my eyes and ears open in the communities he works in, and that's why I know more than you guys would think about him. If you want evidence as to why that offer wasn't for him, your dad is still in the US, right? He should have been relocated to France had he accepted the offer and been hired. Now that you mention it, Dad is still in the US. But he's always telling me that he's busy getting ready to leave to go to the new company. And there was a day he came home and was packing a lot of his things, so... Wait, could this mean that right now Dad doesn't have a job? Well, you'll have to ask your dad about that if you want an answer. Now, since you know more about the truth, I'll be going. Good luck getting the money you need to stay in school.
You've really done it now, telling June the truth about me. Why have you done this to me?
You're the one to blame for continuing to live a lie like that in front of her. Anyway, what are you going to do about paying for June to stay in school? I hear that she needs $10,000 for this month, but I doubt you have that kind of money just laying around, right? I received pretty much everything that was in our savings in the divorce, so there's got to be nothing in there.
Yeah, that's right. I don't have anything in savings at the moment. And that's why things regarding her schooling and living costs are getting pretty tight, especially since I was fired from my job.
You were fired from your lab?
When I got that email with the offer regarding the job overseas, I jumped on it and turned in my letter of resignation. But right after doing that, I realized that the offer wasn't meant for me. I tried to get the university to throw that resignation letter away, but it was too late for me and they said no. I learned that the university had been planning to get rid of me for a while now, and that was the perfect chance for them.
Oh my, that's a bummer for you then. So then you really are unemployed right now.
Even if I don't have a job right now, I'm a researcher. I'm sure that someday soon, the research that I do will change this world in some way for the better. But it's screwed up that that university and this world don't see how important my work is yet.
That's right. You've sacrificed more than anyone for your research and everything it relates to. And so I'll be waiting for the day that all you've sacrificed is put to good use and changes this world. But you ended up throwing out the one person that funded your research in any way, and I wonder if anyone else will be willing to listen to what you have to say.
Huh?
Your research is important, but you also have to find someone willing to actually fund it for you. But for some reason, you've only ever cared about your research and not about those who put their money into it for you. Always talking about those that don't support you as idiots. And that those that do not understand the importance of your work as inferior. If you keep thinking about those that fund you or consider funding you like that, then you're going to get nowhere with your research.
Huh? How does someone like you know anything about the type of work I do?
I know everything about the work you do, Jeremy. I'm the one that translated a lot of your papers for those overseas to understand, as well as have held relations with different institutions that have been wanting to fund you.
Ugh.
As you sat there doing your research all day and night, you made me handle all the public relations and things regarding business. I even did all of that for you while you continued to call me an idiot for never going any further past high school. Well, you've done it now, Jeremy.
Well, that's...
Well, don't worry, because I'm thankful for what you did. Because of all that work you forced me into, I was able to work from home all the time. I was able to start working for other researchers as well, doing their translations and things like that, and have made off with this work rather well. Right now, I'm making somewhere around $80,000 a year with this kind of work, and I don't even have to leave the house.
What? You're making that much a year from home?
There are a lot of researchers and companies asking for my skills, so I don't have to worry about money. And when I was still married to you, most of what I earned went to supporting you in June. But now, without you both in my life, I'm able to save up lots of money.
What?
I was a bit worried about my life after a divorce with you. But with a yearly income of around $80,000, I'm able to make ends meet.
You're lying, right? All I am is unemployed now. The man who graduated with a master's and is a researcher is currently without any work now. Why should a high school graduate like you be able to make that much?
That's because I worked my hardest to help support your research and the family. I literally sacrificed years of my life in working my job, doing all the chores and raising June just so that you could focus on your research. I even studied financing in my free time to learn how to manage the money better. And because of that, I'm able to do what I do now with a steady income and no worries.
Hey, Sally, what do you think about the two of us getting back together again? Come back here and start funding my research again.
Who the hell would want to fund your research, you dunce? If you're as intelligent as you always bragged about, then you can make up a way to bring in money and fund yourself. I never knew that you brought in that much money every year, Mom. Please, Mom, can you please start paying for me to stay in school for Dad? I'm sorry, but someone who never went anywhere after high school doesn't know how to send money to your dad for him to pay for your schooling. And you shouldn't have to ask for my money anyways, considering I'm so stupid. Please don't say things like that now, just help me. If I don't pay for my semesters soon, I'm not going to be able to stay in school and will have to drop out. And then all that work I put into passing those exams will have been for nothing. I won't even be able to get into college anymore, Mom. Well, that just means you'll turn out like me as a high school graduate. Welcome to the life of us stupid people that never chose to move on to a higher education, June. I want to apologize for everything I ever said to you before, Mom. I'm so sorry for treating you like an idiot for so long. It's been all because of the money you brought into the family that Dad and I were able to study what we wanted and go where we pleased, so thank you. I want to keep saying sorry for what I've said, so Please forgive me in return. Why should I forgive you? Do you realize just how much you hurt me after what you did to me recently? You were able to get accepted into Harvard after all, so you should be able to understand that, right? But, Mom! Stop asking me for help and do what you can on your own. You also have your father that you brag so much about there with you. I'm sure two extremely intelligent people like you can make something happen. Now, you both have a good one. After that, I immediately changed both my phone number and email to avoid those two from ever talking to me again. And because of that, I've never had to hear from them again. As from what I've heard through the grapevine, June ended up never being able to pay for her first semester and had to drop out while bawling her eyes out. As of right now, she's been working multiple part-time jobs trying to save up to go to community college in the future. And as for my ex-husband, he ended up finding work as an office worker and spends his days working a job that has nothing to do with his master's degree. And on top of that, he often thinks of himself as better than everyone else because of his past as a researcher. But his boss does his best to put Jeremy right back into his place by yelling at him in front of his coworkers. As for those two's life back at home, they are only able to afford gas station meals as they try to save for their future. But of course, that way of life that they've chosen has nothing to do with me. In my case, I've been able to find a nice apartment where I can spend my days working at home and enjoying the money I bring home. I'm able to keep all the money I earn for myself while enjoying the work that I do, which makes me very thankful for what those two did to me not too long ago.
Hey, Audrey. You and I are breaking up today. I have finally found the woman that I'm destined to be with.
Cedric?
I'm going to be married to that woman and live a happy life. And she already told me that she wants to get married, so we've already found a place we plan to hold our wedding at, too. So you and I are over after today.
Wait a second, Cedric. Who the heck is this woman you're destined to be with? Haven't you been dating me for a while now with the intent of marrying me? Yet now you're telling me that you've already gone and chosen a place to marry this other woman?
As far as girlfriends go, you were a really good one. You never got upset with me about anything, and your cooking has been outstanding. You really didn't require any kind of work from me, but I don't see you as being someone I can marry. I only see myself marrying the daughter of a CEO and gaining a whole lot of money after I become her husband.
Huh?
When it comes to men, we sometimes marry for money as well. Anyway, just know that I'll be marrying her and gaining a whole lot of money doing so. Man, I never thought the day would come where I would be able to become rich this easily.
Wait. Right now I have zero clue about what all is going on. Don't tell me that you've been cheating on me this whole time with that woman while you and I have been dating, right?
Well...
So you have been cheating on me, and with the daughter of a CEO?
Well, yeah. It's crazy to think the daughter of a famous CEO is willing to marry a man like me. Right now, I'd have to say I'm the happiest man in the world.
How did you ever end up with the daughter of a CEO, though? Does someone with the money she has really want to get married to a basic office worker?
What are you talking about? How would you know who I'm really destined to end up with?
What?
Actually, you should know considering that she's your best friend, Erica. My God, if I'd known sooner that you were friends with the woman whose father's the CEO. I'm surprised about how well you kept her hidden from me for so long. The fact that she's even friends with a basic chick like you is crazy to me.
Are you kidding me? You've been cheating on me with one of my best friends? And out of all my friends, Erica?
And it's because I plan to marry her now that you and I are no longer a couple. I'm going to marry that Erica girl and become freaking rich. And maybe at some point in the future, become the next CEO of her father's company. Then I'd be on top of this world, winning at everything I've ever wanted to as a super popular CEO.
Come on now, Erica. What the heck were you thinking taking the hand of one of your best friend's boyfriends? I know that you've been going out with Cedric behind my back. Oh, you've already figured that out? Well, I was just told by Cedric a little bit ago that he wants the two of us to break up after today. He plans on getting married to you, so he told me that we're no more. And he said that you both already chose where you're having your wedding? Come on now, Cedric. I know that he wants the two of us to get married as soon as possible, but he shouldn't have told you about us just yet. I wanted to enjoy the thrill of going out with him behind your back for a little bit longer. Stop acting like you've done nothing wrong here and explain yourself. You've really done it now after stealing your best friend's boyfriend and dating him behind my back. And what makes this a whole lot worse is that you already planned to get married. Hold up now, Audrey. Could you calm down just a tad bit? I didn't take him from you because I wanted to. He was the one who fell in love with me first. He came up to me and said that he'd rather be married to me than to some plain Jane like you. Huh? Well, there's no stopping that from happening though, right? After all, I'm the daughter of a CEO and have loads of money. And on top of that, I'm a sexy-looking girl, so I'm obviously the better choice compared to you. It's only natural that he chooses to throw you out for me. Excuse me? If you plan to hold something like this against me, then go right ahead and be hateful. Even if you did look really good, you're not the daughter of a man with lots of money and barely make it by with that simple job of yours. If you'd been half as good as me, then maybe you could have held on to my Cedric and never lost him to my influence. Who cares that you're the daughter of a CEO? I've had enough of this. Where do you get off thinking it's okay to take the hand of one of your best friend's boyfriends like that? I've seriously had enough of you, Erica. It's not even like the company your dad runs is a good one anyway. I remember it wasn't too long ago that it was on the edge of going bankrupt because of your dad. So stop acting like just because you're the daughter of him, you have the money to just live the life you please. What was that? I remember back in middle school when your parents both died in a car accident and how I was there to care for you when you needed someone to understand you. Yet now you think that by having that title as the daughter of a CEO, you can just treat others like crap. Get a hold of yourself and look at what you're doing to me, your friend. Well, even if they are dead, I'm still the daughter of a CEO. What does it matter that my dad is dead now and is no longer the current CEO? I was born into this world as the CEO's daughter, and I'm going to stay that way. So even if my dad is now dead and his company almost fell apart after he passed, I am still the daughter of a CEO. What? And also, I have all the money and assets that my parents left behind for me. And all of that is available for me because of my dad. Unlike someone like you, I am able to live the life I want every day without having to worry about money. I'm telling you right now, Erica, you need to stop this. All that money you keep on bragging about is pretty much used up by this point, right? What? I know that you've come trying to borrow money plenty of times now, right? You've tried your best to live off what your parents left for you, but even that money has a limit. And I'm sure that now you're trying to find someone to care for you, and you're using your past image as a CEO's daughter to lure men into you. Why do you know all about that? I knew you never noticed a thing about me. The person that had to hear about how you wanted to come and borrow money after your money began to run out was me. What the? You were the nasty-looking chick at the front desk that I spoke to? You're the one that chose not to give me a penny even after I told you how much I needed the money and everything? I heard about how you'd be coming in to talk about how you needed the money and everything. And so to keep you from noticing that I was working the front desk, I did my makeup pretty poorly to hide myself from you. And I know more than just what happened between you and me at the front desk. I know that after I told you no, you stormed out of there whining like a child. But I never knew that was you there. How could you do something like that to me? I didn't do it thinking that I'd be able to listen to your sad reason for wanting more money. I did it just to keep you from knowing where I work. What I want to know is why you thought it was okay to take your best friend's boyfriend from her. Well, actually, I don't need an answer because you can have him now that I know how awful of a man he is. But you need to stop lying to him about yourself. Tell him that you're no longer the daughter of a CEO, okay? I'm not lying to him about that, though. I am the daughter of a CEO, all right? Now, you'd better keep that information about my parents and I a secret, okay? Don't you dare say anything needless to him about me.
I'm assuming that the invitation to our wedding has made it to you by now? We're going to have a special seat saved there just for you, so you'd better come.
What kind of special seat could you have saved for me? And I've never even heard of anyone inviting their ex-girlfriend to their wedding before, Cedric.
But I understand that, but to the two of us, you're like our Cupid. So we'd like you to be there on the day of our wedding to see the final product of you dating me.
Huh? I'm your guys' Cupid?
Well, it's because of you that I'm going to be able to marry the daughter of a CEO and gain lots of money. To be honest, for a long time I didn't think you had any good-looking friends that were worth my time until I finally found out about Erica. And once I knew who she was, I ran into her on the street and asked her to go out for lunch with me. And that was the day I learned that not only was she sexy, but she also had a wealthy father and lots of money. When I learned that, I thought I'd take my chance and tell her that I loved her, not thinking that she'd actually say yes to us dating.
So that's how the two of you began cheating on me.
If I had never started dating you way back then, there would have been no way of me finding Erica and telling her that I love her. So, to show you my thanks to you, I sent you that invitation to our wedding and have a special seat waiting for you.
I don't need any thanks from you, though. So I'm going to say no to coming to that wedding of yours.
Come on now. Don't say something so cold to me. This wedding is going to be pretty flippin' huge, with lots of gorgeous decorations and delicious food, all thanks to her father's money. I don't think you're ever going to be invited to a wedding like ours for the rest of your life, Audrey. This is a very important event for everyone, so put our past behind us and come see our special day.
Huh? You guys are having this wedding with Erica's dad's money?
And actually, it looks as though our parents are going to be handling all the costs of our wedding for us. Man, that sure does sound like something a couple of wealthy people would do for their daughter and son-in-law. I won't even have to pay a penny for this wedding, and that gets me super excited.
What? Her parents are paying? Is that what Erica told you?
Yep. Her parents both seem to be very busy people, as is expected of them, so I haven't been able to meet them yet, but if they're paying for this whole wedding, then they must be really amazing parents. And so, to show them just how happy I am to become their son-in-law, I put together a wedding worth over $1 million.
$1 million?
And that's why you definitely need to come to it. We are having a Michelin-rated chef cooking the food for us, and all the alcohol is going to be imported. We are putting their money into every corner of this wedding, and make sure it's worthwhile for everyone.
That's going to be one hell of an amazing wedding then, Cedric. I hope you really enjoy it.
I will. And that's why I'm saying if you don't come to this wedding, you'll regret it all your life. I want to make sure that you know that, and that we put a lot of thinking into having you at the CEO daughter's wedding. I really want you to see what $1 million wedding, all paid for by her parents, will look like.
But that girl doesn't even have any parents anymore.
What?
Even after everything, it seems she's still gone and left you in the dark. That must mean she's still lying to you about herself. I don't want to say anything else that might harm you guys, so just go and talk with her about what she said before you have that wedding. If you don't talk to her before then, you'll both be left paying for that whole wedding with no help from anyone.
What's with that? Why do you think she's lying to me and leaving me in the dark? And what's all this about her not having any parents? Why would you say something like that to me now?
I just happen to know a lot about Erica and her family, and that's why I'm saying this. Erica is not the daughter of any CEO now. Her parents passed away quite some time ago, back when we were in middle school.
Huh?
And after that, her father's company had a really hard time dealing with his loss and almost went completely under. But even after all of that, she still uses her past as the daughter of a CEO to get what she wants now. But in reality, she isn't the daughter of a CEO anymore and is just another simple girl like me.
What? What the heck do you mean? Is all of what you're saying to me actually true?
It sure is. And that's why I recommend you talk with her one last time about all of this before you have that wedding. If you don't, you are going to marry someone who doesn't have a lot of money and will expect you to pay for her wedding.
You're lying, right? There's no way what you're saying about her is true. She told me herself that her father is a CEO and a popular one at that. That's not a lie. You're just messing with me, right? If she really is without parents, then what's going to happen to our wedding? She told me that they both were going to pay for the whole wedding and that I could spend as much as I pleased on it.
Maybe she was saying that with the intent of using whatever money she has left from her parents to pay for the wedding?
What? Erica really has that kind of money from her parents after they passed away? Well, if that's the case, then for the time being, I'm in the clear. If she has the money to throw a wedding like this with me, then who cares that her parents aren't around anymore?
I'm sorry, but I don't think she has the money to call yourself in the clear. As far as I'm aware, whatever money her parents did leave for her is pretty much gone now. And right now, I'm aware that she's been trying to work with legal loan sharks asking to borrow money to make ends meet.
What? She's trying to borrow money now?
Like I've suggested, you should go and talk with her once more about all of this. And that will be your chance to ask her about all the lies she's been telling you, and you can learn about the real story. If you don't learn now, you are going to have a very destructive wedding on your hands. Stop screwing around with me, Audrey. You've really caused a whole lot of unnecessary BS now. I remember telling you to keep all of that a secret, right? I'm sorry, but I just couldn't sit around and let you take Cedric down with you. There's no way in hell you'd be able to pay for $1 million wedding like Cedric told me you could. As far as legal terms go, you're trying to have a fraudulent marriage. Shut the hell up! And as for this $1 million wedding, I've heard nothing about it. I only have another $10,000 left from my parents that I'm not going to be spending on the wedding. At the very most, I'll put maybe $5,000 of it into the wedding, but that's it from me. But what the hell is with Cedric making all these plans for the wedding that's raised the cost of it up to $1 million? Oh, now I see what's going on here. So he must have thought that since you told him you're the daughter of a CEO, that your parents would pay for the whole thing easily. Well, it's not like he's to blame, considering that you told him your parents are rich. Huh? You did tell him that you're still the daughter of a CEO and that they'd be paying for that wedding, right? Why else would he be saying that you told him all of that? I mean, if you told me something like that as a lie, I'd believe you as well and go all out on my wedding. I had no choice then. If I told him the truth about my parents and I, then he would have never gone through with wanting to marry me. I just wanted to get married as soon as possible, and this was the only way. I understand how you feel about wanting to get married soon, since we're all at that age now where marriage is on the mind. But there are right ways of finding someone and very wrong ways, Erica. What the hell? It's not like everything I've told him is a lie, right? It's still true that I am the daughter of a CEO. It's just that my dad is no longer around, and neither is the company that he ran, but I'm still his daughter. In other words, you are no longer the daughter of a CEO. Erica, all you are now is a simple woman. I am not. I am still the daughter of a CEO and always will be. And that's the reason why I'm planning on starting a company of my own in his image. Huh? You're starting a company now? There are tons of other people that will try to stop me from doing what I'm doing, telling me that because my dad is gone, I'm no longer the daughter of a CEO. So if that's the case, then I'll just revive my dad's company like it was before he passed away. I'm going to make this new company in his image and give it the exact same name. A company with the same name? Are you actually running that company already? Not at this time. I have the company put together, but I have no idea how to actually run the place. What? Well, that just means you've made an LLC, but don't actually do anything with it, right? Well, it's still a company nonetheless, and so that's all I need. And I plan to end this company anyway the moment I marry Cedric. I just have the company put together to make him think that I'm the daughter of its CEO, and that's it. You've really gone ahead and committed a textbook case of fraud then. Making up a company just so that you can get the man you want? I started the company when I was taken out to lunch by him when you both still dated. I already knew about him because of you and knew that he looked like a great guy. And since I was able to show him my dad's company and say that I was the CEO's daughter, I was able to get him right into my arms. And that's why he and I are going to get married. But now you've gotten in the way of my plans, and I'm not going to forgive you for that one. I don't need you to forgive me for any of this. All I really care about is that you return all the money you borrowed back to those you borrowed it from. There's already word out there about how some of the loan sharks you borrowed from are looking for you. Huh? I'll just leave you with this. Even if after your marriage your last name changes, that won't be enough to stop people from finding you and getting their money back. I'm really not sure why you went through all of this trouble to get married to Cedric, but don't think that it's that easy to run away from your debts. What? It isn't. I can't get rid of this debt after I marry Cedric? Well, then that means there's no reason for me to be getting married to him right now at all. Of course you'd think that now. I'm not sure what will happen to the two of you now, but whether you both break up now or he forgives you for lying and you both stay together, you are still going to have to deal with the money you borrowed. You went around saying you're the daughter of a CEO, so make sure you uphold that image by paying off all your debt.
Aubrey, listen to me. I was lied to badly by Erica. Just as you had told me before, she's not the daughter of a CEO anymore. And not only that, but she started a fake company to make it seem like her father's company was still around. And she's got all sorts of debt piled up. She's a wretched woman.
She is supposed to be the woman you're destined to be with, so don't go around calling her a wretched woman like that.
What destined woman are you on about? I've already gone and broken up with her. And as for the wedding, it's canceled.
What? You went and canceled it? Even after you went and sent all the invitations out to everyone?
Well, you don't have to tell me that. I'm very embarrassed by all of this, and it's all her fault. But I'd rather be embarrassed about canceling the wedding than being with a woman like her now. And I'm going to make sure that she's the one to pay for the wedding cancellation fees. Once that's all handled, I'll get back together with you and we can get married.
Yeah. I'm going to marry you now?
I've already gone and broken up with Erica. So please, can you get back together with me again and make things right? I messed up by thinking that she was the daughter of a CEO, but it's because of me falling for her lies that I've come to realize how amazing of a woman you are.
No thanks, Cedric. You went and cheated on me with her, so there's no making things right after that. Do you really think I want to be back dating a man like you? And besides, you told me that Erica is your destined wife, and that's the reason you cheated on me with her, right?
Hey, come on now, Audrey. You and I can make things work again. And be honest with me, Audrey. You are happy to hear that I want you back now, right? You told me that she was lying to me because you still have feelings for me, right? Why else would you have helped me out if it wasn't out of love?
What?
I'm right? If you really had something against me, you would have let me fall into her trap and live a life in misery. But you ended up helping me out before that happened. You worried about me and made sure I knew about her lies. You helped me out of that mess because you still love me, right?
I just didn't want the two of you getting married. That's the only reason I told you about her. I didn't do any of that because I still love you, so stop thinking something as crazy as that.
Come on. You did all that because you want me back.
No, I'm serious about not loving you. And also, I have a fiancé now.
Huh?
To tell you the truth, just yesterday he and I met and started dating. And the reason we started a relationship is because we love one another enough to get married, making him my fiancé, in other words.
Huh? It hasn't even been a month since you and I broke up. Yet you have a new man now? And you already plan to marry him? That's way too soon to be thinking about marriage.
Our love has nothing to do with how soon we get married. You and I don't have anything between us anymore, and I love this new man a whole lot. I have the right to love him to the point that I want to marry him, and you can't do squat about it.
But listen, normally you'd still have some sort of feelings towards your ex, right? There's no way your feelings for me went away within a month like that, right?
But that's the great thing about this past month. I haven't felt a single thing for you since the day we broke up, and I am thankful for that. To tell you the truth, I hate people that cheat on others, and so you made it clear to me that you didn't want me liking you anymore when you told me about what you were doing. The moment you said you cheated on me, all those years of us being together vanished. And that's why I was able to find a new man so easily and find out that I really love him.
Huh?
So in other words, thank you for cheating on me. It's because of you being such a disgusting jerk that I was able to move on to a real man.
Hey, so you really don't plan on making things right with me? You really do plan to get married to a man who isn't me?
Of course I do. So don't you ever come around my life again, Cedric. I don't care whether you choose to leave Erica or stay together with her. But you did say that she was your destined woman, so you should treat her as such. Now you have a great rest of your life. After that, based on rumors about those two, they ended up breaking things off with one another completely. And following that, those loan sharks began to catch up to Erica to get their money from her, and she ran off into the night. At this point in time, nobody has any idea where that girl could be, and I think she's going to stay missing for the rest of time. As for her ex-boyfriend Cedric, he was left having to pay for all of the wedding's cancellation fees after his ex ran away to never be heard from again. And the fees for canceling came out to around $30,000. He tried to ask friends and family to help him pay the fees off, but everyone turned him away, calling him an idiot for what he'd done. And so in the end, he was left having to use all his savings to pay off those fees. And following all of that, he sent me a message saying that I should be aware by now that he is a way better boyfriend than my new man. But to get him to realize how wrong he was, I sent him an image of our wedding day, and since then he's blocked me. If you really want to cut ties to a disgusting man, you just have to show him that your life's way better without him.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.